Hello, Bleacher Report Nation. It is I, your host, Greg Waddell, with my co host, Carter Elliott, here to play a game of college basketball, buy or sell, live in the BR world. Cart, we are in BR today, but you could say that maybe we should be in the ER because we're both a little under the weather, aren't we?
We might be, Greg. The only thing about that is that being under the weather can't stop you from the love of college basketball. As sick as you might be, there's nothing better for a little cold sniffle, maybe a sore throat here or there, than talking college basketball and which team we are buying and selling at this point of the year.
And if there's one guy I come to for throat expertise, it's you, Carter. So I think we'll both be able to get through this together. We have a list of 10 teams in college basketball that we will go one by one on, and we will share our personal answers on which teams we are buying or selling in the big picture for the rest of the season. Now, this exercise in general requires a very basic level of understanding of economics. So, Carter, would you like to explain how the stock market works to our viewers at home?
So if you have turkey and ham, right? If the price of no, let's not do it. Let's do it in basketball terms here. Basically, straight up, let's keep it simple. If you are selling a team, you are basically selling all your stock that team's going to be anything as far as hanging banners, going far in March, anything like that. Typically, you want to, what is it, buy low, sell high, whatever that is. If you're selling a team, you're basically out on them. You don't have any faith in them to do anything moving forward in the year, whether you think they're good or bad right now. You're just not willing to hitch your wagon to that team for the rest of the season. I feel like that does it. I feel like that gives you a
Yeah.
basic premise of what we're doing here.
Basically, are they in or are they out? So, for example, AJ Store 2 years ago in 2023, in. AJ Store at the podium with his coach saying we should bench him last night. Out. Very simple. There we go. Let's rock. Let's start with Purdue. The Boilermakers. I am buying the Boilermakers. I think this probably goes against traditional econ values. They're already undefeated. They're the number one team in the country. You probably shouldn't be looking to buy at their highest priced value point. But sue me, because this team's good. I don't ever want to have less stock of this team than I could have. Braden Smith finally got going a little bit with his scoring last night in Piscataway. Came out, hit three threes right away. They adjusted, and it led to him throwing behind the back bounce passes through traffic for dunks. This team is firing on all cylinders. They're deeper than they've been in years. They are unselfish. They've got the best player in America, and I don't see this slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, listen, I'm not gonna miss my words here. I almost thought about selling them because the first highlight we got was an Aaron Fine alley-oop, and I don't know where our producer was going with that, even though I love him like I love my 7 iron. You gotta buy this Purdue team, not to spoil and get ahead of here. They have the best point guard in the country, maybe the best player in the country in Braden Smith. I think if anyone's selling this team, despite of the economic, pillars that you're supposed to abide by, whereas, doing it when it's high and low. This is the best team in the sport currently. They have the best point guard. They have probably the best power forward in Trey Kaufman-Renn, the best shooter in Fletcher Lawyer, the best Australian in Oscar Clough. Like they just have a really good team. I don't know how anyone could sell this team, honestly.
The argument would have to be defensive concerns, but they've already made massive strides defensively this year, currently up to 21st in defensive rating in the country. I do think it's important for them to end up cracking the top 20. There is a large string history here of teams needing to be top 20 in both offense and defense to win a national title. But look, the Final Four is in Indianapolis. They've got the best player. They've got two All-Americans. They've got shooting. They've got a better defense. They're dominant on the boards right now. I don't know how you could sell this Purdue team where they currently stand. Let's go to the second team on our list. It is the Houston Cougars. Now, Houston has had a very interesting start to the season. This was a team that was supposed to be 1B to Purdue's 1A. This would be a good time to buy low if you believed in Houston rounding into form. However, I don't. I'm selling my Houston stock officially right now. I am out on this team, Cart. I don't see it. There are some pretty concerning things here for me with Houston. Number one, their offense has serious issues. You look at their performances in the Players Era Festival. They needed overtime to get into the 70s against Syracuse. They had a low scoring game against Tennessee in the loss where they only hit 73. Even Notre Dame, they only scored 66 points against them. Now, Houston defense is good enough. They can win rock fights. They don't need to score, but I don't think they know what their identity needs to be right now. The pitch coming into the year was kind of Milos Uzan would be an All American. He has been the second best guard on this team. Kingston Flemings has been amazing, except Kingston Flemings isn't always going to be this amazing. Like, you got amazing Kingston Flemings for the first month of the season, games with 25, 22, 20, 19, 18 points, 5 KenPom MVPs in his first 8 games, and you dropped from first to eighth in the country per KenPom? That's not supposed to happen. You're getting something that's unsustainable right now. I think at a certain point, there's going to be a Kingston Flemings regression here. And when he regresses, I don't know what this offense does. That Tennessee loss is not looking good right now after Tennessee just went to Syracuse and lost outright. I think there are real warning signs here that this is the worst Houston team we've seen in about 5 or 6 years.
Gregory. I've known you way too long. How dare you sell a Kelvin Sampson team? Shame on you. I am buying Houston right now. And honestly, this is probably the best, I think, example of this exercise. There's people like you that are jumping off and selling Houston right now. I will buy every single bit of this Houston stock because I think the freshmen are going to get better than they already are as they move through the season. Milos Uzan is going to figure it out. We saw last year that it honestly took him a little bit to get going. He played his best basketball in March. He'll be doing that. And Sampson's still Sampson, and Houston's defense is still defense. Their floor is so high. And honestly, I'm buying it more so that they have a guy like Kingston Fleming in March who I think could be special. And by the time he has all that Big 12 experience and everything going on with that, I will easily buy every single bit of this Houston stock where it's currently at.
Yeah, it doesn't make me feel all warm and fuzzy to say that I don't believe in a Kelvin Sampson team. They're really young. They could get better, but I don't know. The Big 12 is going to be a gauntlet, and I don't think this is going to be Houston's league the way it has been the last 4 or 5 years, the way I thought it would be coming into the season. Let's check in with the chat real quick. This is an interactive live show, so hi. Hey, chat. Good to see you. Hayden says Braden Smith is not the best player. It's Yaxel Lendeborg, in my opinion. Your thoughts?
Your opinion stinks. Nah, I'm just kidding. Yaxel's been really good. I don't think that's even crazy to say. Honestly, Cam Boozer's probably been better than Braden Smith. There's a couple players that I think have been better than Braden Smith, but also at the same time, let me ask you this. Best player is one question. Who you picking though?
I'm gonna stick with Braden, but look, I think it's hard because you and I, shameless plug here, we have a podcast with the National Player of the Year, Running Point with Braden Smith. That's our guy, right? We're not gonna diss him publicly. That's not how this works. I think we can objectively analyze that it has not been a great start to the season for Braden individually. His team's amazing, and his passing numbers are where they should be. But as a scorer, he just hasn't been efficient as we've seen in previous seasons. Now, it was a great step forward against Rutgers, but I think he is going to run into the issue in terms of the National Player of the Year conversation. His team doesn't need as much from him as other teams need from their superstars.
Hmm.
Like they need him to get 10 points and 10 assists and get out healthy, and they're going to beat teams by 20. That's not National Player of the Year worthy. It'll be an interesting development as it goes on because Yaxel was better than Braden Smith this week, and we'll see if that continues. Klein says Houston just isn't that great offensively. It's weird. I agree. Justin Smith says, Greg, what would make you buy back into Houston? I think I need to see Milos really get to the level I thought they'd get from him this season. That's my answer. Do you have anything there? I mean, you're buying them already, but does that make sense to you?
Yeah, because I think part of the reason I'm buying is that I think Milos gets there. I think he does, and that's kind of the reason why I am buying.
Yeah, he's had one 20-point game this year. I think he had a bunch of those down the stretch of last season. I'm looking through game logs right now. 22, 25, 22, all in the final month of last year. I want more of that. I think you want him taking some of the scoring pressure off of the freshmen on this team. To this point, he hasn't done it. And if that starts to change, it will be the version of Houston I thought we'd get this year. But I don't think it's going to change. Let's move on. It's Alabama next on the list. I am buying the Crimson Tide, Cart. I think Nate Oates has earned this from us. I was not a huge fan of this Alabama roster on paper coming into the season. Not an Aiden Holloway guy. I appear to be very wrong on Aiden Holloway. Phylon has been what I thought Tahad Pettiford would be. He's been every bit a lottery pick pro that, quite frankly, shouldn't be in college. I still have some questions about the front court, but I don't really have any questions about this team's toughness. I think they've got the athleticism that I was skeptical they might have, and Nate Oates' offense is going to do what they do. They're going to bomb threes and put up prolific numbers. So this team doesn't feel like they're any behind at all to past Alabama teams the way I thought they would be coming into the season. 95 points per game is crazy through 7 games. I'll buy the Tide. What do you say?
I'll buy the Tide as well. Honestly, this was an auto buy because LeBaron Philon is one of them ones. And you give me LeBaron Philon in March, I'll go ahead and buy that every single time. And then also Aiden Holloway's been really good, man. Like as good as Philon has been, with as good as Aiden Holloway has been as well, you can make an argument, and you might really shoot me down on this one, Greg, but I feel pretty good about it. Do they not have an argument for best backcourt in the sport?
With Phylon, definitely they do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so and so I just think that you give me that backcourt in March, I'll buy that. And then to your point, maybe they don't have like the center that's as, good that you want for this basketball team. But I think that Bowen has shown some things. Also, the freshman Amari Allen is a dog. He's tough as hell. He rebounds extremely well. And then the transfer, I think is it Bristow?
Yeah, Bristow.
Love what I saw from him in that Alabama game, and even outside of that, I think he adds a little something to this team off the bench, just from a toughness, energy standpoint wise. I'm in on the Crimson Tide this year.
Yeah, I really do think we've reached a point where I'm probably never going to sell a Nate Oates team. I
That's
just think they're
fair.
such a tough out, and the style of basketball they play is always going to have them in the mix. But I mean, this is wouldn't you say Phylon's probably the best player they've had since Brandon Miller?
Yeah,
With all due respect
that
to
was
Mark
like two.
Sears.
Brandon Miller was there 2 years ago.
I know, but it was supposed to, like Mark Sears had Player of the Year stuff going on.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, Phylon's just better. All right, next up, another SEC team. It is the Tennessee Volunteers, and Card I will volunteer as tribute to sell on Tennessee. I'm out. Yuck. Gross. I'm selling low on this team. I get it. They just lost at the building formerly known as the Carrier Dome against Syracuse. But Card, I think you could nitpick a few of Tennessee's performances in Feast Week as well and come away with a similar conclusion. Basically, they got the huge win over Rutgers. Rutgers is terrible. They got a really impressive win over Houston, another team I'm selling. And then they lose to Kansas without their best player. Are we supposed to think Kansas without their best player is like a good team? I'm just kind of out on this. What say you on Tennessee?
Yeah, I'm going sell on Tennessee. It's time to sell on them. I'll be honest with you. Nate Ament is more Xavier Booker than he is Kevin Durant, as Rick Barnes tried to stress out that he could be. And he wants Nate Ament to be more, and he's just not that good. And honestly, I'm starting to get a little frustrated. If I see people put Nate Ament above certain players anymore without production, it's really going to start to get to me, truthfully. This team's best big is probably Jalen Carey. And shout out to Jalen Carey for hooping. But if your team's best big is Jalen Carey when you have Nate Ament and Felix Akpara on your front line, then you're probably not all that good. And they don't lean into Jacoby Gillespie enough. And Jacoby Gillespie got outplayed by JJ Starling last night. I sold it immediately before I even knew that this exercise was happening once I saw that occur.
Yeah, it's been iffy. I don't know what to do with Tennessee. We'll have to keep monitoring where this goes. My voice is in hell.
Yes, well, so is Nate Ament.
It's a great embodiment of that. Let's check in with the chat card. It's Bumman Bauman, who has some love for your team. MSU is legit. Their big men can space the floor with the 3-ball. Talking about Jackson Kohler, I believe.
Yeah, Jackson Kohler has shown the ability to stretch the floor a little bit this year, and I think it's added. I mean, and also that kid's just a walking double-double, which is great to have.
Yeah, and your point guard's been amazing. Guy Fieri says Fears is better than Smith.
Like Braden? No, he isn't.
You sure you don't want to go down that path?
Mm-mm. And
There's
I love
quite
my
a
point.
few
I love my point
Spartans.
guard, but nope.
There's a lot of Spartan fans that do.
Fears is a better passer than Braden.
You positive of that?
Yeah.
That gets Purdue people going.
I think they can take that, but I'm taking Braden Smith 10 times over 10.
Okay,
10 times
all
over
right.
10 over Jeremy Fears.
Hills the man says MSU is the best team in college basketball. There's people mad we didn't put Michigan State on this list. We would just buy them. Like, this has to be a toss-up, buy or sell, you know?
Can I go hand up here?
Sure.
I'm kills the man.
Nice.
Sorry.
So everyone's just making burners for us. Greg's burner says, "Is Amet just not as good as we thought he'd be?" I don't know. He's kind of what I thought he'd be. I think he's been amazing in some games and awful in others.
He just plays like he knows he's frail,
Yeah.
and it's weird.
And I podcast like I know I'm frail. Ford says someone help Jacoby Gillespie challenge in Rocky Top right now. Yeah, it's too one-dimensional for me.
Yeah, not a fan of it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's talk about a team that's very multi-dimensional. Next, it is the Illinois Fighting Illini. Okay, I have a love-hate relationship with this program. I feel like every single week, depending on where you get me at, I could either buy or sell this team. It's a buy low opportunity right now, and I'm going to take it. I will buy Illinois. I love the way this team plays. So much skill, so much size. They got to figure out the toughness element of this. I think they're going to lack that all year, but I'm not writing them off just because they lost to Dan Hurley. Cart, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, writing him off, selling. I'm selling this basketball team at the right time, I think, too, because this team, I think, one, they can't get out of their own way. They're snake bitten at all turns. They got big men that are getting their feet stuck under bleachers when they're going to away games. Like I just can't do it with this team. I don't want to buy in and get my heart broken. I think they're talented. I think they're skilled. I think that their coach wants something of them they're not. And because that is the case, I just don't know how you are successful. Greg, that's like you asking me to take the lead on putting my list out first. I'm not going to do it. Why would you ask me to do that? That's not good product. That's what Brad Underwood's trying to do with this Illinois team. He's trying to get them to play tough and gritty. And that's just not who they are. They're passport warriors.
Do you think Kylan Boswell is tough and gritty?
I think he is, but also I think he's wired like Kyrie.
Then I think they can get there.
Can he do that to a whole team of Balkans?
I think so.
Nah, you almost made me buy it, but I'll sell.
I don't know. I hear the toughness concerns. They're not tough, but I think all they got to do is realize they're not tough. Like we've seen
How do
not
they do
tough
that if their
teams.
coach just keeps yelling at them? I want toughness.
Well, it's December. It's early. We've seen not tough teams win national championships. You just got to be bigger and more skilled than everybody else. And I think Illinois has a chance at doing that.
Well, listen, I commend you for buying. I'm selling.
All right. All right. I'm just saying. This one I'm very curious to hear your answer on. It's the Florida Gators. Your Gators. Gator boys stay hot, as you've been saying all offseason. It was a rough one for Florida in Cameron Indoor. Now, a rough one in the sense that they still almost won the game. Boogie Flan heroics almost gave them a chance to steal one, but they were down by as much as 15 early in that game. I'm going to buy Florida singularly because I think Thomas Howe's amazing. I don't think everybody's realized just how good he's been. He has the look of like, I'm just going to drag us to a Final Four. I'm that good. We'll figure it out. They got to get something from Xavier Lee and quickly, or they got to turn to the bench. But I do think this Florida team will be a lot better in March than they are now, and they're already pretty tough right now.
Yeah, I'm buying this one as well. G, look, and this really is predicated on the fact that I'm not saying Xavier Lee has to come in and be an all SEC player, but I have faith that he can. I have faith that he can play for Florida and not look like Alvin Ellis III on a night-to-night basis. I think that would be massive for this basketball team. He was awful last night. Also, I don't want to overreact. They lost on the road to Duke. Is Duke not a top five team in college basketball? I think they are. I'm buying this for front court and front court.
Whoa. You didn't think that before this game.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't. You're changing.
No, I guess I did.
You've said Duke's fraudulent for a month.
No, I left that a long time ago. You're not listening to me.
I'm listening to you every day.
No, yeah, you do. No, bad excuse.
Ha!
Bad
We
excuse.
could roll the tape. In fact, I prepared this. Producer Ian, please roll the tape of Carter. Just kidding. I just wanted to scare you, and you got scared, didn't you? You got
I
really
was
scared.
terrified. I'm buying. I am buying this Florida team because of their front court. That's it.
All right, producer Ian's telling me get to the chat. Damn it! Henninger says Tennessee was without their best big Estrella. He is better than Carey. Yeah, I agree. I'm also not an Estrella
Oh,
guy.
hold on. Sometimes when you sell, you don't feel really like that fiery inside. I now feel amazing. If we are saying our best big is Estrella, I will sell that team. Thank you.
Me too. Me too. Cameron Coggin says selling on Tennessee, but I'm thinking Syracuse is a lot better than we thought. Eh,
Tennessee fans are making me sell right now.
Syracuse is okay.
At best.
Like they're okay, right? They went 0-3 at Players Era.
Okay is a stretch for Syracuse.
They snuck by Monmouth 2 weeks ago by five. Like, yeah, I don't know. All right, back to our list. Vanderbilt is up next. This is everybody's darling early in the season. The analytics say that Vanderbilt is now the 11th best team in the country. That's where Ken Pom has them. I think they're going to keep climbing up the AP poll. It's a good, fun team with a superstar in Tyler Tanner. But Card, this is just a prototypical sell high spot for me. I don't think there's any chance Vanderbilt actually approaches the top 10 in the poll at the end of this season. I think they're going to get beat up in SEC play. I think as fun as that offense is, their best wins right now are over UCF, VCU, and St. Mary's. Like, you got to play somebody, beat somebody at some point, and we haven't seen them against a real opponent yet. I'll sell high on Vandy.
Yeah, that's probably the right choice, but I am a sucker for a guy named Duke Miles, who was in his eighth year of college basketball, averaging almost 19 points a game, being a part of this team. And then you combine that with McLaughlin, you combine that also with guys like Tyler Tanner, who I think is one of the best, or maybe not the best, but I think he might be the most underrated point guard in the country. It feels weird to buy this team because of like kind of where they're at right now and the schedule that they went through, but Ken Pound tells me to buy. I think I'm going to buy on this one.
Wow, you standing in alignment with Ken Pomeroy. I never thought I would see this day.
Welcome.
You buying something you shouldn't. I see that a lot.
You do see every day.
Too. Yeah. All right. Next up, St. John's, the Johnnies. I don't know what to make of this team, Cart. I really don't. It's been an interesting start to the year. Preseason top 10 team in the polls. Everybody told me to love St. John's. I think I was selling St. John's before the season, and I think I have to keep selling St. John's after a 4-3 start. And their only win of note being Baylor, losses to Alabama, Iowa State, and Auburn. Now, they had chances to win a few of those games, but I think the point guard problem we knew was a problem for this team is very loud. Ian Jackson is like totally uninvolved despite a highlight dunk right there. I just don't see the playmakers on this team that they had a year ago, whether that's scoring for yourself or creating shots for others. And I'm out on this team officially.
Yeah, here's the reason I'm selling St. John's. And honestly, I feel like it's a pretty good exercise for a lot of buy and sell on teams. I think if I got each one of these players in front of a microphone without anybody else around and asked them who the best player is on the team, I think a lot of them would say themselves, and I think a lot of them would be wrong. And I just don't like the fit of this team. St. John's was so good last year just based on their defense. Like they were suffocating people defensively. This team doesn't check. They don't check. They have a really good front court. I like what Mitchell's brought. I obviously like Ejiofor. Bryce Hopkins, like not my cup of tea, but I can see how he'd be someone else's cup of tea. I just don't really see it with this team. They have not beat anybody. They played somebody, so that's good for them, but they haven't beat anybody at this point, and they have the guard issues that you stated. I am selling and feel really, really good about this. I also decided to keep selling this one because Rick Pitino just is worried about Mark Pope, and Mark Pope's in a bad spot right now. So
Yeah, I hear you. I think the world's gonna come around to our opinion on the Johnnies too. It's only a matter of time. Let's check back in with the chat for some Johnny's thoughts. But first, Sign 8RE says Gators bye, baby. Need to figure out the Clayton replacement. Isn't it just Boogie Flan?
yeah, also let's just not replace. You're not going to replace Clayton. Just get Xavier and Lee to look like a high major guard for 5 minutes.
Yeah, right. Klein says, what on earth happened to Ian Jackson?
Well, he had a scapegoat of blaming Hubert at his first spot. Now he doesn't have one, but he's the same player that he was at UNC.
Proposal. Can we just blame Ricky P the same way we blamed Hubie B or Hubie D, excuse me?
Just send Ian to Seton Hall and call it a day.
Got it. Hayden says Zuby Ejiofor stock is going to be weird to watch come June. Yeah, is he a pro?
I don't know. I don't know. He should be the best player on this team, but also like Patino doesn't want him to be the best player. It feels like sometimes.
I'd never know what Rick Pitino wants other than to hurt himself every time he loses. June says, I'm with Greg on Vandy. They need to play some comp. Yeah, I hated your play somebody bit when you were doing it 2 games into the season. But when you get to the second week of December and you haven't played, I mean, their first game card against a top 40 team is Alabama on January 7th. It's crazy.
I like that comment from June. I may be with you
What does that mean?
because like June and May.
Oh, I thought you were making a Dusty May joke, and I
No,
was going
I
to
was
get really
making a
mad at you.
calendar joke.
Got it. Understood. All right, 2 teams left on our buy or sell list. The Indiana Hoosiers are next. They're going on the road to the barn to take on Minnesota tonight. Darren DeVries, Nico Medved, in a who can win their first Big Ten game battle. Indiana's undefeated, 7-0. But speaking of teams that have played nobody, their best wins are Marquette and Kansas State. They have Louisville this weekend. We will find out what they are made of. I'd like to get ahead of that game and sell the Indiana Hoosiers. Card, I think some of the things that stand out on this team's profile as particularly impressive are completely fraudulent. They have the number 2 point range defense in the country. Teams shoot 39% from inside the arc against Indiana. Why? They don't have rim protectors. Reed Bailey and Sam Alexis are their bigs. Those are not capable rim protectors long term against high major opponents. I think they have beaten up on some really, really bad teams, blown them out in epic fashion, and you should give them credit for doing that. That is a skill. But the day of reckoning comes here soon. I think it's this weekend against Louisville in a blowout loss. I'm selling. What do you think of the Hoosiers?
I'm selling, Greg, and also that day of reckoning might come a little bit sooner than you think because it's hard to win on the road in the Big Ten, no matter where you're playing, especially in your first Big Ten road game for a team that's a bunch of guys that have not played a road game in the Big Ten. That's all I'm saying. I think that Indiana is very schedule driven right now, to be honest with you, and I think that Tucker DeVries and Lamar Wilkerson are the goods, as the kids say. Like I'm not even getting out on that. I like Conaway. Enright is like he's like around, so that's good. But they just really don't have the front court, I think, to hold up or the horses to hold up against high level teams. So I do think that Louisville will beat this team, but also like there's a world where like they drop one tonight to Minnesota.
I don't see that coming, but I wouldn't be stunned. Last on the list is the Kansas Jayhawks. They've done an admirable job without Darren Peterson. They keep telling us Darren Peterson's close to coming back. Bill Self says he's 95% healthy. Cart, do you typically hold out a 95% healthy player against a top 5 opponent at home?
If I was 95% healthy and Darren Peterson, I would hold myself out, yes.
I'm 2% healthy and I'm still on the stream today. It's not that hard to just power forward if you want to do what you do. I am going to shock you with this answer. I'm buying Kansas, Cart.
Whoa.
Their role players showed me enough at the Players Era going 3-0 and honestly keeping it close against UConn that I think this team has more than I thought. They have to get Darren back. If they get Darren back, though, I think this is a really good buy low opportunity. If they're valued as like the 20th best team in the country, they have the look of a team that could finish the year top 10 if Darren Peterson just plays basketball. It's a rather large if, but I hope it happens soon.
Yeah, I'm buying as well. Just because I mean some of the same reasons you brought up, and I think all those are good reasons. I think they have some solid role players that are stepping up in this spot right now, but let's not get too complicated on this one. I'm buying this because this team could have Darren Peterson, and Darren Peterson could be the number one pick in the NBA draft. So if you're not buying this team, then I can't get with you, to be honest. Wait till my dog is 100%. He might be 98 tomorrow. He won't play if he is, but once he's 100, I'm in.
He might not play till he's 110%, honestly.
Yeah, and
Like,
that's my guy. He just gives 110% in everything he does.
I guess so. Remember that one weekend where we went to Bloomington and I tried to make the tin a thing?
Yeah.
It reminds me of that 2 week stretch where Kansas and Bill Self tried to make Cole Rosario a thing. They've abandoned that the same way I abandoned the 10 at a certain point, and they're better for it. Everything's going to be okay now that they got the bad reclassified player that just was not good enough off the floor. Let's go back to the chat before we wrap the show here. Trey Young's burner says DeVries is solid, though, can't lie, but Indiana needs to show me something in the front court. I think I'd agree with that assessment.
Who's Indiana's best win?
Kansas State right now.
Kansas State at home.
Mm-hmm.
The Kansas State that just lost to Bowling Green.
Yeah, that's their best win.
What was their next best win? That Marquette win?
Marquette.
Did Marquette just lose the Valpo?
Marquette beat Valpo in overtime.
Oh, good. Nice.
Yeah. And then Shaka said he doesn't like agents.
Yeah. Okay.
Dollar Store Joker says, actually, no, let's go back to Hayden. Hayden says, what would Indiana need to do for you to buy in? Beat Louisville.
Yeah, that seems fair. Yeah.
Simple as that. Dollar Store Joker selling on Kansas until Peterson plays. How long can you sell for, Dollar Store Joker?
You only sell so much. He'll be back. Don't worry.
Will he?
I got inside info.
From who?
No one.
That's the thing. You don't have sources. June says Jayhawks are nice defensively, but without Darren, they struggle. Yeah, again, I'm impressed with how their role players have persisted with their superstar opting out of the entire first month of the season.
He'll opt in soon.
I hope so. Mr. Mason says, what about BYU? Close games versus Dayton and some others buying or selling. That's a fun one. Are you buying or selling BYU?
I'm buying BYU just because I think their trio is the best trio in the country, easily.
I'm going to do a classic me move here. I think I would hold BYU. I
You
don't
can't
want
do
more
that.
stock.
No, I'm not allowing that.
What?
It's buy or sell.
Or hold.
No, you see all the signage on this. It is buy or sell. Where do you see hold at?
I want to be held. Fine, I'll buy. I like BYU.
Thank you. Honestly, I shouldn't even let you buy after you try to pull that hold move.
Sorry, I apologize. All right, folks. There you have it. That's our game of buy or sell today. I appreciate you persevering with me as I struggled to lose my voice live on a show. Cart, as always, the floor is yours for our final thoughts of the day.
I'm sick. I haven't eaten in 72 hours. I feel weak as Nate Ament does on the basketball court, but yet I show up and I show face and I smile every day knowing that I get to get on Bleacher every single Wednesday and talk college basketball with you, Greg. It's a blessing. It's a curse. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Thank you, BR Nation. We'll be back next Wednesday.